All right, so thank you so much for doing this. I saw the film yesterday and it just moved me to tears. I thought it was spectacular. I think it's going to move a lot of people when they see it. You know, Lady Gaga, I want to start with you. You've performed live on stage for millions of people around the world. This is very much your first major leading role on the big screen. So what's something new you learned about performing from playing this character in this movie?
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so happy to be here with all of these incredible, talented human beings on this couch. You know, I learned something from Bradley that I had never learned before. He's such an incredible filmmaker. He's also just an absolutely sensational director. And what he taught me is know your lines, know the story that you're telling, but then when you walk on set, throw it out the window and just be, and just talk to me. And he says it to Ali in the film. He says, all you gotta do is trust me.
All you gotta do is trust me. That's all you gotta
And that was like how it was every day on set, just an extremely sacred space that was both operated with a lot of precision and also a lot of freedom and love.
Bradley, I feel like I could ask you that same question. You spent so much of your career in front of a camera. In this one, you're not only behind the camera, but you're performing live on a stage in front of tons of people. What's something new you learned about
everything in this project was new. Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of it. You want to do things. You know, the older I get, the more I realize time is the biggest currency, and I just want to keep learning and surrounding myself with people that are better than me, so that I could grow. So I guess it's selfish in a way, but that's what every moment of this experience has really been that. Sitting in this couch with all these people. As an actor, and I haven't really spoken about it, the acting part of it, but you know, the truth is everybody here, I can remember complete moments being there watching them and them making me a better actor because they just are so real and present and listening. And that's all you pray for as an actor. You know, and then to be able to have that at your disposal as a storyteller, you know, the editing room becomes just, you know, the most fun place to be.
And let's talk about that story. This is A Star is Born. This is a classic story. You know, I think of Barbra Streisand, I think of Judy Garland. What about this story convinced you that this was going to be a directorial debut? I know Clint Eastwood had a role in bringing it to you. How much did he influence you? And what was it about the story that said, you know what, this is it for me?
It was a sequence of events. I mean, Clint Eastwood has influenced me in ways before he ever knew, before I ever met him. But it really was, I wanted to tell a love story. But the thing that kept me from doing it was I never had a point of view of a story. And the only reason to do anything, to say anything, is if you know what you want to say. And it really was, it was this. It was, I wanted to tell a love story, you know, and a human story, and a story about relationships and trauma. And, but I wanted it to be cinematic. So I wanted the characters to be something that maybe one in their everyday lives they don't experience. So music was a perfect vehicle for that. And then finding her was incredible.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Okay.
Tell me something, girl.
Do you write songs or anything?
I don't sing my own songs.
Why?
I just don't feel comfortable.
Why wouldn't you feel comfortable?
Almost every single person has told me they like the way I sounded, but that they didn't like the way I look.
I think you're beautiful.
You know, Anthony, I feel like you're very much an actor whose star is on the rise right now. I've seen you in a bunch of things, and of course, Hamilton. This movie very much speaks to sort of maintaining your authenticity and ownership over who you are as an artist. As more people are saying, this is what you should look like, this is who you should be. Is that something that you struggle with personally in your career right now, and is that a struggle?
100%. I've had people tell me you need to speak differently, you need to grow your hair out, you're too this, you're not enough of that, you know, you're not tall enough, you ain't short enough, you know.
And how do you do it?
Honestly, man, like my family. You know, I think I'm like grateful that I have a family that reminds me of who I am. And then, like, when you just have people reminding you, like nothing else matters. Like, when we leave here and, like, when we're just chilling on the couch, really at home, it's just us. And, like, and we're doing this, you know, the first thing Bradley said to me, one of the first things was, like, you don't gotta be nothing but yourself. Like, just be real. Just be real. He was like, just be real. And it's like, why? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be real. You know, I think, you know, we're blessed to make art, make films, write songs, do things like that. And it's like, I think people just want to connect, and they want to feel something honest. And honesty is pretty tough because you got to dig deep. And sometimes we don't want to dig deep because it requires work. It requires having to look yourself in the mirror and hurt a little bit. But man, it's like after you hurt, you know, the pain, it's like when you work out, you break the muscle tissue only for it to multiply. So it's like, you know, you get deep so you can rise above and be like, damn, like, look what I did, you know.
How did you do it, Lady Gaga? How did you maintain that sort of ownership over who you were as an artist as you sort of skyrocketed to stardom?
For me or for Ali?
For you.
For me, you know, anytime someone told me to, you know, get a nose job or work with a, you know, choreographer or dress like this or be like that, I always turned it on its head and made it mine. And it was so important to me that my voice was always inside of the art that I was putting into the world. Because if, like, you know, like Jackson says to Ali in the movie, like, if you don't have something to say, you know, there's no really worth in saying it at all. That's what makes you an artist, is perspective. And I really love in his filmmaking that was such an essential theme of this movie.
One of the most powerful scenes for me is when Jackson brings Ali on stage for the first time, and she has this moment of realizing this is everything I've always wanted, and now life is never going to be the same after this. I call it the Ali moment. You know, what was your Ali moment when you realized, wow, I'm doing it, but now tomorrow's not going to be the same as yesterday?
I would think of two things. You know, one would be the first time I heard my first single on the radio. I was in Canada, and I was in a car, and I started screaming and crying. But truthfully, it was when I looked into the eyes of my fans, and I saw myself. And I knew that I had said something that drew people like me towards me. And that's when things, for me, really changed.
That's awesome. Sam, what was your Ali moment? At what point in your career did you say, wow, I'm doing this now, and now my life's going to never be the same?
Oh, God, I don't know. To be honest with you, it's been too long for me to remember my Ali. You know, I think the thing that I always go back to and have often thought it through the course of this journey here is just how lucky I am to still be at it, number one, but to have opportunities to work with the people I work with and have the moments on screen that I've had. I've just been very, very fortunate. Long way from Sacramento at 9 years old when I first decided this is really what I wanted to do, and just feel blessed to have had the opportunity and still have an opportunity thanks to guys like Bradley, you know.
Well said, ditto.
I personally think you're doing some of the best stuff that you've ever done before as an actor. And keep doing it, man.
Thank you. It's because of this guy, you know. Showed us all the way.
The music is going to be something I think audiences don't forget from this film. And I'm curious for Bradley and Lady Gaga, when you're crafting these songs, what's influencing you, and what do you want people to feel when you're writing them?
Well, I mean, the music is an essential element. It's a character in the movie. It's not mutually exclusive from the rest of the way this whole process has evolved. And I wouldn't do it any other way if we got to do it again. And there was an arsenal of songs by the time we started filming, but they were also songs that were being written during filming and that were being parceled out and put here and an element of it here, sometimes on the day. And it's just, and that we were able to have that dexterity because we all worked so hard. She worked so hard and so hard on the soundtrack. And we had people like Jason Isbell, who wrote Maybe It's Time, which was really the beginning of the discovery of what Jackson could be as a musician. Mark Ronson and Lady Gaga wrote Shallow together with another writer, which was a staple moment, as you said, in the movie. Lucas Nelson, who it's late, his plane was late, but he would be sitting with us. He is the heart, very much a major artery of this film musically. Yes. He and his band, Promise for the Real. Hillary Lindsay. I mean, we just had this incredible. What do you call it?
It was a synergy, and we were constantly working in the studio, and the script was being worked on at the same time. And I remember even after we filmed the scene in the cop bar, I ran into my Sprinter van, and I started to write the song "I Don't Know What Love Is," which is the wedding song. So that was a new song that was birthed, and I remember Bradley texting me "Black Eyes," the song that starts the movie. In the middle of the night, he was like, "I wrote this last night. What do you think of it?" And it was so exciting for me to watch him become a musician, and I really think that it was essential to this project, and such a testament to his humility and generosity as a director, is he accepted me as an actress, and I accepted him fully as a musician. And we did it all kind of at the same time, and we switched things up on the fly when we needed to, and we kept things as were when they were right.
Maybe it's time to let the old ways down. Maybe it's time to let the old ways down. Takes a lot to change a man. Hell, it takes a lot to
I feel like this movie is very much about chasing the dream and chasing what you love. When you chase what you love, does love always get in the way?
I think that the obstacle really is in the character of the music. Ali changes quite a bit, and we crafted Ali's sound in the beginning, out of Jackson's sound, because I worked with Lucas Nelson and his band and with Bradley, and then she starts to shift and change, and by the time we get to the bathtub scene at the end of the movie, he's questioning her about her lyrics and how she's changed, and do you still have a point of view? Are you still saying what you really want to say? And I think that that's more of the challenge that is brought into the love.
And also we wanted to make a human story, so the challenges are the past and your family and sequence of events that have occurred, and the outside world and your relationship to the outside world and to yourself. I would actually say that the thing that allows them to pursue their dreams is their love.
Yes.
You meet him in the beginning of the movie could be a short, because of where he is when you meet him. He's almost done. She revitalizes him, and then same way with her, she would have just kept going. They were just slowly starting to go again away from their dreams.
Yes.
And I think the fuel of their love actually is what at least gave them the opportunity, the small potential dream to fulfill it. But because of him primarily not being able to grow and to cultivate what had happened in his life prior to being 43, it wasn't possible. But the love is the actual thing that is the means by which the story is told. There would be no movie if they didn't have that love.
No, he believes in her, and that helps her to believe in herself.
Right on. Thank you so much for making it a spectacular job. Wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.